for being supportive of this last day, last morning, last worship service in this planning meeting. Let me ask the technicians to get ready with the finance report video or PowerPoint that's being up on the screen. And are you ready now? Then I shall take the finance report update of the Episcopal District's position and be able to justify where we are and explain what you will be seeing. With the pastor's statement, just pastors now, just pastors. All right. And I keep on saying that the reason that the QR codes can go up on the screen, and some of this you can see, not QR codes, but some of this you will see on the screen as projections are made. Come here, Mr. Marshall. And some of these young people, only young people came that time, give them to pastors first, and only because of the fact that pastors, we expect you to share out with everyone else. We don't do as much printing as we had once did, because it's just too costly. Start at the front and the back, very quickly. Make sure that people, make sure that people on that front pew get, they are VIPs. All right, and then, come on, there's enough. There's enough. Don't take 2 or 3 of them. Get all right. Still right here.
Still standing.
Good morning to the Second Episcopal District. The first report.
Can you hear?
Good morning, Second Episcopal District. The first report you will see is the financial summaries for the Second Episcopal District, going to the next screen, beginning with December the 1st through May 31st on all of the reports. The first report is the administrative fund. You'll see where we began with $711,736.21. Our total funds raised $2,421,443.40. Total expenditures $2,548,520.10. We used $127,076.70. The balance in the treasury is $584,659.51. The available use of those funds, you'll see that $316,553.55 is due to the general budget. $213 was the balance that is due for a grant that we started with. Due to reserve, $273,152.14 for a total of $589,918.69. Now this report reflects the amount available for use of $5,259.18. Why is that? Because we advanced to one of our annual conferences to pay off a mortgage, which is about to come. The refinancing is about to take place within the next few weeks, and those funds of roughly 100 and I believe 90,000 will be back in that account. The other reason is we were showing due to reserves. That includes 2 payments from the CDC of 100,000, which we can pull out of that because we have been paying for those churches. How many churches here received a decrease in your general budget? Amen. And so we received $100,000. We will now remove that from reserves. And also, we've continued to pay beyond the $100,000 for those churches, the general budget for those churches. And so there's another $150,000 that will come off of that. So the amount that will be left in reserves is roughly $23,152.14. Just want to say that to you because these are things that will be reported after. You will see that in our next report. So I just want you to be aware of that. Bishop.
Did y'all understand what you just said? The reason why it's negative here? And one of the things she did say that was in the error is that the loan that's coming to the Baltimore Annual Conference is for only $150,000. Baltimore still owes the balance of that loan that they were not able to pay this annual conference. So you will have the mortgage payment, which the rent takes care of both of them. The rent off the church takes care of both of them. All of this was duly processed. The only reason we have not gotten the loan is because church appraisals were backlogged, and they are just getting the appraisal and the inspection back, and it won't be back to us until the 28th. We will be closing out the loan sometime before the second week, or by the second week of April, second week of July, I'm sorry. And the balance of the loan remains on the books of the Baltimore Annual Conference. When the loan was applied for, we were applying for that which was supposed to be the balance. And then we had some many challenges, and that many is spelled M-A-N-Y, with Harbor Bank, who added on an influx of major unnecessary late fees and all when it wasn't late because they drew on our account. And as a result of that, it ended up going up $40,000. And when the loan was applied for, we only applied for the loan for $150. That's how it got separated in part. That makes sense, doesn't it? Not to me. But I just thought I'd tell you anyway. You know, the loan will replace the money. That's what we needed to make sure you understood. We have some money, but we don't have some money. All right.
And this is the report for the administration fund. You can go to the next report. That's a meeting, the second district meeting fund. We began with $129,708.11. Total funds raised, $190,110.06. Total expenditures, $257,742.46. Change in fund balance, $67,632.40. The balance in the treasury and available for use as of May 31st, amen, is $62,075.71. Next report is the Nehemiah Fund.
You might want to tell them that was did she say May 31st? As of May 31st?
As of May 31st.
That was before we got to this meeting, right? All right, and these lights and air conditioner. All right, go ahead.
Nehemiah Fund, presenting this on behalf of Reverend Jonathan Davis and the Reverend Galen Barbour. Total funds at the beginning is $18,742.46. Total funds raised $11,000. Total expenditures $12,882. Total fund change in fund balance they used $1,882. The balance in the treasury is $16,860.46. Next report is Education Fund. We began with $355,521.41. Total funds raised $194,626.14. Total expenditures $457,100. Change in fund balance, funds used $262,473.86. The balance in the treasury as of May 31st, $93,047.55.
That was before you paid this last tuition, is that right?
That's after the tuition.
That's after the tuition, all right.
Quadrennial fund. You can go to the next one.
I think you need to explain too that why that is because every one of these annual conferences made a contribution to restoration of the educational fund.
Yes.
That I think they need to know, because you don't take up that kind of excess. You understand what I'm saying? We run a deficit on giving the scholarships generally. The thing that makes this happen the way it happens is that every annual conference made a contribution to restore the education fund.
I think you would.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the bewilderment on their faces that they understood the other part. I didn't understand that. Even what I was saying, now they don't understand that, which I understand. Go ahead.
I have a question regarding the Nehemiah fund. 16,000, was that downloaded to the CDC? Is that what we voted on?
I think everything after this planning meeting begins that. I don't think you're going to zero out the Nehemiah, because Nehemiah is not, you didn't zero out Nehemiah. You just said that no more Nehemiah funds would be distributed. And so any Nehemiah funds, new Nehemiah funds along with these, will go towards the interbanking process by virtue of the approval of their annual conference.
Amen.
I guess so.
Amen. Amen. So we'll go to the quadrennial fund. We began with $124,135.73. Total funds raised $376,047.77. Total expenditures $316,145.87. Change in fund balance $59,901.90. The balance in the treasury as of May 31st, $184,037.63. This has changed. We raised funds for the quadrennial over 4 years for the quadrennial, and we have made all of those disbursements. So this will change on our next meeting. The next report.
She just wrote a check yesterday that we reported to the finance office for $174,000. And so you can see how dangerously close this fund, and it is to be depleted. I'm not criticizing that, because it's supposed to be raised every quadrennial. And my rule of thumb is you raised it for this purpose, so you spend it for this purpose, and you keep on trucking. Less the man or woman who comes behind me to raise that too, as we did when we were here. All right. I love them. Go ahead.
The Sun Trust account, which was also for quadrennial funds, began with $139,711.52. Funds raised, which was primarily interest, $599.20. Total expenditures, $140,216.29. The change in the fund balance, we used $139,617.09. What was left in that account when we finished was $94.43. Amen. We have to show those accounts, because you'll look in your books and you'll see them and you'll be aware that, okay, amen. We'll Disaster Relief Fund. We began with $124,315.26. Total funds raised $9,000. Total expenditures $544.50. Change in fund balance $8,455.50. Balance in Treasury as of May 31st, $132,770.76. These are your district reports.
Can I just ask a question for clarity? The disaster relief encompasses the overseas, okay, and I think you need to know that because they are lumped together. The overseas money, in mission overseas money, and disaster relief are in there together. They are in there together. She has a record of where they came from, but they're in there together. And this too. All the annual conferences made a contribution to. We try to make sure that this part is not ever depleted because we never know when the disaster relief is necessary. Can I go back just 1 second to remind the people on the quadrennial fund that though we have written these checks depleting this fund, only way we were able to make the things we promised work, and this is just a reminder, I know you already know, but you realize that we had said that we had shown where percentages of, according to the numbers of delegates you gave, percentages to make up the shortfall would come from the annual conferences and the money that you had set aside before money had been given. That was in order to make sure that everybody came in without an expense to go to the general conference. You remember saying that? You remember? Hello? All right. I want to just say that for information. I know that you trust Dr. Price, and I do too. But I'll be gone, and you may not trust me anymore. Let me go on to the next one. All right, go ahead. Any questions about either one of the fund balances that are there? This is the time to get clarity. Dr. Price is here.
I think it's important for the membership to know that these reports are primarily designed so that you'll know where the monies are. Because the complexities of our financial statements would be much more than we can present in this meeting. These reports are audited by our auditor. All right. You want to go on with the red report in terms of what is done with red on? The red board report is on the screen. Oh, they have the budget up, Bishop.
Well, you can go on and read it, nonetheless.
The red board or the budget? There's nothing happening.
Why don't you go to the red board report? I'm not talking about them having those with full have the red board report for the benefit of everybody else. Won't you please want to read the red board report?
The red board report as of May 31st, statement of position, cash and cash equivalents for $229,624. Total fixed assets $311,217. Total assets $540,841. Total liabilities and net assets. Accounts payable $3,606. Net assets without donor restrictions $283,235. With donor restrictions $254,000. Total net assets $537,235. Total liabilities and net assets equal. Total assets $540,841. Statement of activities, which is the equivalent of a profit and loss statement. Total support $12,818. Total expenses $11,497. Change in net assets $1,321, beginning with $535,914 with a net at the end of the period $537,235. The cash flow statement began with $1,300. The change in net assets, was $1,321. We adjusted, we modified for depreciation, $6,768. Net cash provided, $8,089. Net increase in cash and cash equivalents, $8,089. Cash and cash equivalents beginning January 1, 2024, $221,535. Here's what you want to tag. Cash and cash equivalents ending May 31st, $229,624.
And just for the benefit of persons like myself who don't have that kind of money, cash and cash equivalent, define cash equivalent for people like myself.
Cash equivalents are any investments anything that may be an investment account that is liquid, meaning you can go get it.
And in this instance, it is the money that is over in Citibank and other places,
yes,
right?
Sir.
And so, for the benefit of people like myself, and I know there are very few of you in here like me, who don't understand all of this stuff, that really boils out to be some money, not land, not anything else, just money. And just want to make that observation to the CDC, not the CDC, but the Red Board has cash money. You know, Duckies, $229,000, and I think that you might want to remember that. All right. Any questions about the financial report? Let me get you to then approve the financial report pending the audit report. That is, well, you want to say something about the audit report? Then we can approve it since we have the audit report.
The audit was completed, and we received an unqualified audit opinion, meaning everything was as reported.
And it was an independent audit. Let me now ask the district, what is your pleasure regarding the finances of the district? Yeah, but generally it is approved pending the audit report. Since we have the audit report, the report now can be approved, and if that will suffice as the statement of your motion. All right. Is it probably moved and seconded that the financial report with the approval of the audit report be adopted? And so you've heard the motion. Ready for the question? All those in favor, let me know by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and so ordered. You understand, as I understand, the budget can only be approved by one body, and that is each one of the annual conferences. It cannot be approved here, but because we carry it through every annual conference, there were some adjustments, modest adjustments. I don't mean really any serious adjustments. And so we bring it here so you can see what the budget is that you have approved in all 5 annual conferences, since all of you are not in the same conference. You understand what I'm saying? Your approval is already given to the budget. This is just to make you aware of what you collectively approve through the presentation of the budget in every annual conference. Does that make sense? Lord, let me pray to get y'all home, because y'all are getting quieter and quieter about this budget. I know our money does that to us, but go right ahead, Reverend Goose.
Bishop, I missed the opportunity during the motion, but I'd like to also add our commendation to Dr. Rice.
All right, and now come on with the budget review very quickly. It's just a matter of reviewing it and come on
Amen.
as quickly as you can.
Approved budget on the screens for you. You can go to the next screen, which just shows the officers that were engaged in the process of preparing the budget for the 2024-2025 conference year. Normally they stand with me before expediency say we're going to press forward. You can go to the next screen. Next screen. And that just basically says that we met and there were minimal recommendations made. Next screen. This is the one you want to pay attention to. This is our budget, approved budget for the income portion of our 2024-2025 conference year. Far right column, general budget, $1,873,700. Quadrennial travel, $122,873. Second Episcopal District budget, $308,644. Benevolent offerings, $30,000. Ministerial retirement income, retirement, $486,377. Church periodicals, $71,027. Sustentation and meeting support, $120,200. Life insurance, $81,980. Public offering support, $115,000. Second Episcopal District Education Fund, $152,618. Miscellaneous, $36,999.50. Summer meeting offering support, $25,000. Annual conference technology allowance, $67,000. Legal allowance, $25,000. District's care, $38,400. Conference printing allowance, $30,000. Total approved budgeted income, $3,584,818.50. I think the Sandman's in the room. Amen. Sorry, my sense of humor is coming in. Next. Proposed budget expense. Far right column, general budget, $1,873,700. Benevolence expense, $30,000. Church periodical, $71,027. Connectional travel, $15,000. Contingency expense, $2,000. District travel, $25,000. Ecumenical relations expense, $2,500. Donations, $20,000. Episcopal District Ministries, $10,000. Episcopal District Office, $400,000. $64,343.50. Bishop's care, $54,600. Component connectional support, $15,000. Life insurance, $81,980. Quadrennial, ministerial annuities, $486,377. Quadrennial travel, $122,873. SED education, $152,618. Winter meeting, $120,200. Total expense, $3,547,218.50 with a net of $37,600. The next screen provides the breakdown of the Episcopal office expenses. Far right column, administrative expenses, $4,500. Administrative salaries, $66,000. Benevolence, $4,000. Clergy care, $8,000. Support stipend, staff stipend, $30,000. Communications, $67,000. Equipment and furnishings, $3,000. Financial management, $36,000, which includes the stipends that are provided to the clergy that represent the retirement fund. Fringe benefits, $12,200. Expressions of sympathy, $2,000. Office supplies, $8,000. Postage, $11,000. Professional fees, $76,000. The breakdown is at the bottom of the screen. We'll hit that. Publications, $3,500. No, sorry. Professional life insurance, $3,500. Rent, $30,000. Meeting expense, $4,000. Payroll taxes, $6,843.50. Telephone and internet, $7,100. Housing, $68,000. Website, $5,200. Office expenses, which includes background checks, $12,000. Total Episcopal office expense, $464,343.50. Professional fees, the audit fees, $13,000. Legal fees, $25,000. Printing and productions, $30,000. And miscellaneous other fees that we may not identify, $8,000. Total professional fees, $76,000. Next screen just provides a breakdown of the Episcopal support. Far right column, life insurance, $12,000. Health insurance, $13,600. Retirement, $17,000. Professional allowance, $2,000. Vacation pay, $10,000. Total, $54,600. The next screen provides just the percentage for those, as to remind us that 50% of our budget goes, the funds raised go to general budget, 14% retirement. You'll see that. And then the next screen, we are there. There's a picture for those of us who like pictures on the pages. This is your approved budget for the 2024-2025 conference year.
All right. Give her a hand. Are there any questions about the budget as we have gone through it? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I know several things, church planning committee, the retirement, publication. There were funds allotted in 2020 through 24, but not 2024, 25. I want to know why.
Well, you know, in 2023 and before, we had done studies on where churches should be planted, and we followed through with our commitment of $100,000 to make sure that they were funded. Under the new administration, that's going to be the choice of the district to talk about where your future will lead you in terms of church plans. And so there was no projection made because there's no plan in place. That's all.
What about retirement and publication?
Retirement.
Yeah, there were funds allotted previous year, but not for 2024, 25.
Which line item is she speaking
The
of?
retirement support was when we were going through COVID. No, that was when the retirement and we had.
You understand the first year that the fiasco of the retirement took place, I asked the district for permission to garner money to help be supportive of those persons, and you gave $6,000 to $10,000 for those folks that year, and that's what that was about in the district, helping to soften the impact of those who had just been alerted to the challenge. And we really ought to have even more, but we're hoping that peace is resolved. We hope that peace is resolved, or will be resolved soon. Any other questions? Thank you for raising the question. Thank you. There's no need for approval of the budget. I just want to give you an opportunity to raise your questions about it. Thank you. Put your hands together for Dr. Price has been serving in multiple capacities, and certainly everybody who works for the district serves in places where they are not named in those places. And so we thank God for her support. If you would